mastered the database, you know your load balancers, but in a senior system design interview, that's not enough. Most candidates fail the WhatsApp design not because of the storage, but because of one specific scaling bottleneck they completely ignore. It's the difference between a higher and a strong no at the L6 level. Today, we're analyzing a real-world mock interview. The goal: designing a scalable WhatsApp clone for 100 million active users. We're talking massive concurrency, real-time delivery, and zero tolerance for lag. This is the exact level of architectural thinking FAANG interviewers expect from senior and staff engineers. By the end of this video, we'll break down the entire stack, from the WebSocket layer to the distributed message queues. More importantly, I'll show you the exact moment this candidate avoids the trap that sinks 90% of applicants. If you're prepping for big tech interviews in 2026, this is the blueprint you need to level up. Let's dive in. You've studied the basics. You know your NoSQL from your SQL. You can draw a load balancer and a cache in your sleep. But here's the brutal truth. For a senior or L6 role, that's the bare minimum. Most candidates walk into a WhatsApp design interview and focus entirely on the database. They spend 20 minutes arguing about Cassandra versus MongoDB. It feels productive, it feels technical, but while they're obsessing over the storage layer, they're completely ignoring the actual killer. The bottleneck that crashes the system the moment you hit 100 million concurrent users. In a FAANG interview, this isn't just a small miss, it's a signal. It tells the interviewer you can build a prototype, but you can't scale a global product. It's the difference between a strong hire and a no hire. You're one missed detail away from failing an interview you thought you had in the bag. You don't need more diagrams. You need to understand how state actually works at scale. So, what is the one detail that separates the juniors from the staff engineers? Let's watch this mock interview and see exactly where most people trip up. Now, let's dive into the mock. Most candidates start by drawing a database and a load balancer. That's junior level. An L6 candidate starts with the constraints. 100 million users, billions of messages, low latency is non-negotiable. The candidate starts with the high-level flow. Simple, right? But here is where the interview usually goes south. The interviewer asks, how does the server know which specific connection to use to push a message to user B in real time? Most engineers say WebSockets, but they stop there. That is the one detail that fails them. Saying use WebSockets is like saying use a car to get to Mars. It doesn't explain the infrastructure. Watch how the senior candidate handles this. They introduce a distributed session store. See, with 100 million users, you can't have one server. You have thousands. User A is connected to server 1. User B is connected to server 500. If user A sends a message to user B, server 1 has no idea where user B is. The L6 candidate proposes a Redis-based session store. The flow becomes: server 1 checks Redis, user B is on server 500. Server 1 forwards the message to server 500 via message queue like Kafka or RabbitMQ. But they don't stop there. A senior engineer anticipates the crash. What happens if server 500 dies? 100,000 users suddenly disconnect and try to reconnect at the exact same second. This is the thundering herd problem. To solve this, the candidate suggests exponential backoff with jitter. Instead of every client retrying at 1 second, they retry at random intervals: 1.2 seconds, 2.5 seconds, 0.8 seconds. This spreads the load and prevents the entire system from cascading into a death spiral. This is the difference between a mid-level and a senior response. The mid-level describes the happy path. The senior describes the failure path. They aren't just building a feature, they are defending the system against its own scale. Designing for 100 million users isn't something you just wing in an interview. It takes a specific mental framework. If you want to master these patterns without spending 100 hours on random blogs, you need a structured path. That's where AlgoExpert comes in. They break down these massive distributed systems into digestible patterns, so you aren't guessing during the live call. And for those who prefer interactive, hands-on labs over videos, Educative.io is the gold standard. They have a dedicated system design track that's basically a cheat sheet for FAANG expectations. The result: you stop sounding like a junior and start sounding like an L6 architect. Check the links in the description to get started. Now, let's get back to the final bottleneck: